Welcome back to Factorio. My name is Nilaus, and we are continuing with our glorious Space Age base here. And what we are doing is we are going to be rounding off the work we do here on Fulgora. At the last episode, we did some gambling here and got some really fully kitted out rare equipment everywhere. Even portable solar panel, and even the pellet unit that does nothing, and even the night vision. I just wanted everything to be rare because, you know, consistency, right? But anyway, this is here, we're good. And that means we also have like a really good supply of rare materials, but what we do not have is a good supply in general. Things are running out, and this is, oh, not that one. And this is our last resources on our map. This one has also run out, so that also just should be taken out and decommissioned as well. What are we gonna do? Well, trains are the obvious answer. We have some really good location there, really good location here. We probably also have, I think this, oh, this one has a lot as well. And we have something out here. There's definitely something out there. But in order for us to get that, we need to make some trains. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna be designing an elevated train network. And we're going to, of course, also implement it. Well, how do we do that? Well, first, I'm going to be setting my design criteria because they are super important. Always design criteria first. I'm going to make it aligned to my little block. Why? Since those blocks don't work outside on the oil field. Well, I'm going to do that because when I get to another location, then I can set it up like here's a nice location. When I can set it up, then it would be nice if the rails actually fit together. It also works the way that if I then have some rails, then I can easily connect one to the other. So that is going to be my design principle. The second thing is, this is the most important thing you will ever hear, and I made a mistake. All right. This is how it's supposed to be. See, the rail segments jump in 2 by 2 because they are 2 by 2, and it is extremely important it matches with this. That is something I always guarantee, and it's part of my blueprint. It's always part of here on Narvis. Then I've also designed it so that the trains actually go in the middle of the lines. That is good. Otherwise, they're sort of lifted by one if you put the blueprint down incorrectly. That is no good. That's perfect. I always do that. I always do it. I will never make a mistake. Ah, crap. So all of this, all of my volcano space is one tile off. It's one tile up or one tile down. And I know what most of you would be thinking. You'd be like, ah, too bad. We can live without it. There are not that many trains. But I actually want to implement a train system on volcanoes as well. So there's only one way, and that is moving the entire base one tile. But it gets worse than that, because it's the same mistake I made on my Twitch series, which is an even bigger base that also needs to be shifted one tile. That's luckily not something you have to endure, but just so that you feel my pain. But that's what I do because I can't help myself. I absolutely must do that, and otherwise the trains will look awful. So I'm sorry if you have been using my rail network, because that is, or my grid on the volcanoes, because then we can together sit and fix that. The good news about it is that you can watch these live streams while you do it, while you fix it, if you are so inclined. All right, let's start investigating what these weird things do. Here. So rail support. First thing, they rotate way too many times. Basically, if we look at it like this, here and up here, then there's also like a middle one. And then there are 2 extra ones out here. Here. So this is 0 degrees and 90 degrees, then there's a 45 degrees, no surprise, but there's also a 22.5 and 22.5. So that's something we need to keep in mind. What I'm going to start by doing is going to see how far these reach. It's also funny, you're not pressing up here, but you're pressing down on this part here. Here. So how far can we get? We can go this far out to one side and this far out to one side. And as soon as you get one more, then it starts putting another blob. But the great news is you can actually do this part. That's the maximum distance if you use these. However, that's one off from my grid. So I'm actually going to do this here, where they overlap by 1. And then I'm going to have my same grid spacing as I do back on Navis, and otherwise I go crazy. That's going to be the same grid spacing here. And let's confirm, not just assume, because that's what always happens, then you make mistakes there. Is that the same grid spacing? It is. Good. So basically it looks like every time you have one of these foundations, they can reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles out. You can see here how much is being supported by each one. That is how much is being supported. So if I take this out, you can see it starts deleting from the side, and then it finally takes that. Super nice. Good. That is first things first. So this is now the right size, the right space. Then if I do this one, and then rotate again. Yes. So that is the middle. All right. That's our first blueprint. Woohoo! Amazing. Then the next one we want to do is a turn. I'm going to do that to that. So the turn will have to be a 2x2. So I'm going to do here and here. And my objective is to get the minimum amount of intersections, or at least the most logical kind of intersections here. So 1, 2. Let's try it this way, and then see what we can do when we try to put some rail up here. Like if I drag it as far as I can, there, that gets us a corner, and then that is actually our corner that we're going to use. So let's try and put that here and here, and then take any of the excess. Oops, that's an excess, and that's an excess. That's excess, and that is excess. Good. Then we basically have our intersection, or our that one. Take this out, take this out. That's gonna be our turn. It could be, maybe, no, it couldn't be nicer. This is how it is. It's smooth. It takes this part. That's the next turn. Then the next one, I'm gonna actually keep this up here, at least one of them. Then the next part I want to do is I want to do a T intersection. So we're gonna start by making, oh, we're just kind of running out of space here. Okay, we're gonna make a T intersection starting from. So what I think is important with the T intersection is that I will usually use the T intersection to branch off a main line. So let's say we have a main line here. My objective is now to, let me just put that over here and take you out. Is that I will now say, okay, I have a main line, but I need to stamp something down that superimposes on the main line without changing the foundations on the main line. So I need to branch this here, this side path in here. And we're going to use this as our foundation. So if we start by making these lines, that should be fine. But unfortunately, we run out of, yeah, it's fine, very quickly here. I can also say that I think I need to do this. Just take these out. And it's from here, no. That one. There we go. So that doesn't work, but that's exactly how we want to do it. And even though I'm now building on solid terrain, the objective is that I want to go out here, so I can't sort of go downstairs and go up again, because everything has to be up. So we basically just want to do a normal intersection that we usually do, but actually make it up here. So if I do this, then I know exactly where I need to branch in, and that is here. Then if I do like that, that's another. Yeah, there's no way that I can get in to hit it here without getting an extra block. So let's get that extra block as close as possible so it looks less awful. And that's now connected. Good. And from here, and then I go to that location, and then to that location, and then go in. All right, so now that is symmetrical, and then all we need to do is get the signals up and running. We're setting the 2 change signals we need here. We have a right-hand drive, so we're going to get a change signal here because it intersects that part, goes out, and on this side we're going to do that here. Then the other 4 signals that we need for this part, let's see if we can figure that out. There, and then we need to go out on this side. That is this one and this one, and we come in here. That means here. Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 signals. Why do we have 7 signals? Do we have too many? Oh, we have too many signals. No, we don't have enough signals. There's 3. This has to intersect here. Yes. And then that has to intersect out. Yeah, that looks good. There's 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. That's perfect. And it looks good. So that's the next one. Then on top of that, we also need some branches, which will also be something we need to do. And that will be have to be somewhere else, because we're running out of space here. So a branch is going to be, again, I want to have a main line, and then I want to have a side line out here, and then somehow a way for me to get from here into that one. And we can just ignore that for a little bit, because you're not going to be part of the design anyway. It's going to go really far down here. That's going to be way too far. I want to build it here, and then I do need another one, and then it goes in. Yes. Then the other part here is going to be and I think we'll do it. Oh. Yeah, that looks good. These two are now on the same line as my substations. So that's good. Yeah, this is how we want to. But then also remember that we have to do 2 of these. Why 2? Well, because they are... the signal, they have to be reversed. So once we get 1, then it should be fine. Let's see if I can figure out where the change signals are going to be. This one because it's intersecting a line, and this one because it's intersecting a line. And we don't want to be having them stop here. That's out in the clear, that's out in the clear, and this one is not. Oops. There. Those are the change signals here. And then we have that one. So now we have all the segments. Yay! Whew. I think we want to implement the segments to make a box around our base, so we can get that, and then we can do stations afterwards. And so the final part is being laid down now, and we look at it. Ta-da! We have a nice grid, and we've also put some big radars out here in the corners, the rear radar. And they need just a little bit of this, and then they're protected, and they also get power. Also done that up here, just to sort of explore a little bit in a casual way. And these have a really good reach. So what we're looking at now is we have 43 million, we have 61 million, we have 35 million, 39 million, we have 23 million, we have 26 million. We definitely have enough. Oh, look at that. 13, 23. Yeah, we have enough. We don't have to go to these big locations. It's the 1.1 that's going to be burning out soon. Our own supply is less than 200,000. It's not a moment too soon. So what we need to do now is we need to design a loading station and a pickup station. Loading station and pickup station. Well done, sir. Loading station and unloading station. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's figure out what that would be like. I think that we'd start with... Let's start with an unloading. Like this, that's going to be easy. We're going to be setting it here because my intention is that I'll use this space for unloading, and then have multiple of these roads out here. I can add at least one more, but probably one more as well. Then I kind of move it, or maybe in between, actually making it 1, 2, 3, 4 evenly. So anyway, and then just shuffle around the roboports or something. Either way, I'm going to get a station in here. I'm going to use 1-4 stations, and here first, very important, a warning. I am not going to use any of the new contingencies or interrupts. It's nice and all, but let's be honest. I have my location here for drop-off. I have my location for pickup. There isn't a whole lot more. Eventually, we'll want to set up a little station here and get some trains in with exactly what we want, and then we'll build it here. Eventually. That's when we get to megabase level. Let's see if we get there. But right now, it's just a matter of pick up scrap, deliver scrap. So, you know, let's not make it overly complicated. It's nice and all, but let's not make it overly complicated. So, what I think I kind of want is to say all my stations have the planet first. Not that you really need it. So this one is a station, and then I have to go to Novice because I don't have the arrow. That one, arrow. And we go to Fulgora, and then we take out train station again, and then we do that. And then it's going to be scrap inbound. There. That's a very, very simple, logical location name for this. And let's see, what are we going to do with it? Well, a very simple thing is we're going to get some fuel in. So that's the thing. We're going to do our unloading. I'm going to do the unloading that I am most fan of. And I'm just going to show the basic premise of this. Yeah, and I am not 100% sure that this is technically needed anymore because the belts are now a lot faster, but it was definitely the best way when we had the blue belts. So that is what... Okay, I need to explain this. If I input like this, then the inserter is constrained by the time it takes to move the resources out of the way so that the next thing can be done. So that means the actual swing is, it swings in and then it insert, and then swings back for grab some more. But if I do this, then it actually inserts in both sides of the underground of the splitter at the same time, which means it unloads twice as fast, or it lets go of the 12 things it's picked up twice as fast, and it goes out in the belt much quicker. So that's why we do this. It takes a little bit more space, but it is a very robust way. Then we're going to go down here, take a 4x4. We love that one. And that's going to be here. That one. That's pretty much our station. Let's put some lights on because I like lights. That's not what I wanted. I don't like lights that much. I just want lights in between the wagons so I can kind of see where they are. Then it's a good form to have a start and end the station with a signal. And there we go. That's the unloading station. Let's just make it complete by just getting it all the way over here. So now that is my unloading station. And if I want one more of those, I just need to move the roboports. And then I can stamp it down. Cool. I do want one more, so screw you roboports, you're not welcome anymore. The good thing about the roboports is that they are easy to move, they're very flexible in this design, so we can always just take them here. There we go. So that's our loading stations. Unloading stations, damn. And then comes... let's see, oh yeah, we had to remove the other one, but I have now made a blueprint book with all these things that we need. So, for example, we are now going to have an L shape. I'm just going to stamp this down. Not because I need anything particular. Well, I do need that corner particularly. And then that can... Oh, yeah. I don't need to go on upper ground belts because this will always be... Yeah, so I think that it's better for me to just do this thing. And then somehow find a way... Like, maybe like that. Okay, and then we'll find a way to get it outside. Let's look at a loading station then, because that's going to be a little bit different. Let's make it down here. Now the loading stations should also be a 1-4 train. Let's try to make it the other way, just for the sake of making things different. Wow. And what I need to do is I need to make sure that inbounds here. Wow, it's that one. Okay, so we kind of need 2, 3, 4 sounds about right. We need to make sure that we can then get in and out of this location. So I'm going to be building it here. I don't know if this is the right place, but we'll build this and then see. So it will be a station heading on this belt. It's going to be there. Okay. And then we need to do some loading then, or unloading. Loading, damn. I'm going to build it here. Okay, so that gives us basically the absolute minimum for this station. And I think that's important. And that means these two are not necessary, and I think that it's important that we do absolute minimum. That's the absolute minimum, but then I want this part to be more centered. That is probably, yeah. Then we have the intersections right on These start right here. Yes. Good. And the other one. Good. Then we're going to take here. This will just pass through this area. This is why I couldn't have the loaders or the unloading, loading on the top. Because that is honestly the only place that they have room for it here. Like that. And signals. I want to put the signal as early as possible, but that's going to have to do. And likewise here, that's going to have to do. And then we can put some lights in. No, no lights there. Damn. Yeah, let's put some lights in where we can. Right, so this is the minimum size of the loading station, which is also a very important thing to know. Good. Now I have, by the way, I don't have any signals on these aside from here. That's something we definitely need to add, but yeah, we'll cross that when we get there. And this one will then also get a name. Let's see if we can come up with a reasonable name for this one. I think I have a better suggestion than the default name. There we go. That's our suggestion. So now we have a loading station and an unloading station. And what do we need to do now? Now we need to go up here and try to tap this one. Now on these islands here, I have decided that these small islands, I don't care about my global pattern. Yeah, because it just doesn't fit. Like this, it would be nice, but it doesn't necessarily fit. So the only thing that really matters, this is also why I take these ones here. I do not sort of lock them into the grid because I want to be flexible. So I want to make sure that what would be like the most logical place that I want to do it. So I think I want as much space between the big here and then my station. And then I can always just grab it and put it in. So I want to make sure that we can build these. There. Look at the ramp is green on top, grab is green on the bottom. So this is as close as we can make it. There we go. And then it's a matter of how do we merge it in here. And the way I want to merge it in is I want to do a branch and then I build this one. And then I do a loop on the other end for this part. And I want to make sure that, for example, on this line here, I only do branches off of it. So, for example, here I can do a branch off the main line. But if I then take this, for example, then I would go out and not do a straight station here, but I would actually go out and then branch off that because that side path could also be leading out to that one, for example, or something to that effect. So let's look at the next. That is, we need to branch off our main line. Here, do we think I can do the turn? No, I do not. I do not think that's possible. So I'm going to do the turn here. And here's something that's definitely a bug. I'm saying definitely a bug, but it... Okay, so you can see, for some reason, this cannot be placed, and they're just stuck, and that one cannot be placed either. But if I do... delete... undo... everything builds correctly. That doesn't, to me, seem correct. If it couldn't build, then it can't build. Then it's not like, oh yeah, just try again. It's the Windows mode. Just if in doubt, just reset. So, oh, that was interesting. Yeah, we have to have an extra intersection here. Okay, that's okay. Right, we have now a thing. I guess this is a branch off, and then we do need a little U-turn. We just have this one just for... and... let's do that. Take those out, take these out. And we don't have any more rail support. Alright, so we almost had it. Now, what I need to do is I need to take my miners here with modules. These here. And then I want to pack it as close as possible on top of this. First location is almost set up, and you can see that this is a little bit of a spaghetti here. We have a few of these accumulators. We're not actually going to use a lot of power on this platform, so we can just hook it up. And yes, they are not the most optimal ways of loading stations, but hey, it's a thing. And it comes in and it goes up here and then it goes back. I've set it to 2 because I can leave another train here. There can be 1 here and then it can be, oh no, what are we, oh, we're missing a, Alright, we'll just do that one instead. Okay, so they are coming in and they are of course having modules here. So they are quality modules, so they are trying to generate some, oh, that one, someone has been badly copy pasting this one. So that is one station. Now we need to, we've hooked it up, then we can go back and then we need to figure out how to do our input and output stations. So ultimately we want to head it, we wanted to get to something like this. That would be ideal because then we can just use it to branch in here. So can we take this stuff and then branch it into that? Might honestly need to go one further back and then just that part and then get some ramps. We can just get everything down here on normal level, and you can see this is, oops, and I think it actually looks better if we do the curve, the silly curve here, as close as possible. There. And I'm gonna need to see, that's not gonna work. Oh, man, there's gigantic these parts here. So we're gonna do something like this. And then that can go one more here, and then that goes in here. Then you will go out as far as you can in order to find some kind of way inbound. There we go. That actually looks moderately good. And I have completely skimped on signals here. Yeah, kind of sucks. We don't need a lot of signals, but we definitely need more signals than what I have right now. And I could also maybe think about having an extra one and then moving this whole thing one down. So we have 3 stations. Man, let's just do that while we're at where we're at. Of course, if I could add 1 more, why not add 2 more? So that's what we add. So now we need to set up the conditions for when do we want the station to actually turn on. There are 4 chests times 4 wagons, that's 16 chests, and that is 2,400 in each. And that is, who knows what is, 38,000 something. So let's do some circuit logic here. Then I am going to basically say, we have to remember that what we get in here is actually containing 2 different, or 3 different, 4 different, or whatever, many different types of signals. It can do, you can see here, there can be some blue ones, some green ones, some normal ones, and later on probably some purple ones, different quality here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, oh no, not this. I'm going to take each of those and multiply them by 1, and then I'm going to map them all over to basically be scrap. So this one is basically saying whatever type of scrap, whatever quality of scrap, just call it scrap, because I just need to know if you have, how much scrap you have. Then I'm going to take that in and say, okay, if the total amount of inbound scrap here, if the amount of scrap, we could also do like variables or parameters and stuff like that. But again, I don't want to do it unless I feel that it adds something. If it's less than 20,000, then send a signal of YL, because that's the default value for setting train limits. So I'm going to send that up here, and then that will be set train limits, which will be set to 1. Okay, and then we do a light, because that's nice to know. Here, and then there's actually a new improvement to lights. This one will be enabled when L signal is greater than 1, greater than 0. We have actually an always on, which you can just do for normal lamps, which is nice. Take it there, it's not always on. But you also have the pipette tool, so you can play with colors. Isn't that nice? So I actually want that color up here. because I want it to be yellow when it wants a train to come in, and then turned off when there's not a train coming in. So we do this and put them into the other ones as well. There we go. So now we know that each of those would like to get a train inbound. Cool. Signals. It's rudimentary at best, but there's some kind of signals. Then the last thing we need to do is, well, we need to hook this one up to this signal over here, and then we just do that one. And then if everything is correct, it matches perfectly. And it does remember to set it up. Great. I like it, right? It's good. Then let's get some trains. We're going to get a train here. And we need to set up a schedule. And as tempting as it is to set up schedules, then to do something fancy, honestly, I don't really think that there's any point to making a separate train yard and separate all sorts of things. It really isn't necessary. What we're going to do is we're going to make a new group. This group, I'm going to be, again, taking these groups because we now select the other groups. That's why I will do groups. We'll have a precursor on our, what is it? Descriptor of the planet. And then what are we going to call it? I'm simply calling this scrap train. Yes, so that's for scrap. That should be fine. And what is it going to do? Here's the most advanced train schedule you've ever seen. It goes to full cargo, and then it goes to empty cargo. Did I forget to take these trains and actually call them something logical? Did I not have a rule about setting the planet first? I did. Apply. Good. Is this good enough? No, because it's not necessarily a full train. If we go up here and look, and these boxes, they are not necessarily full because, for example, there is one scrap blue. So when that puts in, then it's not going to be full because it's waiting for 49 other scrap blue scrap. And I don't have that. So we're going to set it also on the load condition as a inactivity. And that's it. No interrupts, no needed. I could build it with interrupts. I could build it parameterized. But I think it's also very important to show that you don't always have to do this, and especially when it's not needed. And I've set each of these stations up to have 2 in train limits, so I can just ship off 2 trains. Off you go. Let's get another one behind it. And that's there. I'm gonna hit a ride on this train. Yeah, it's gonna be stuttering because we don't have a lot of signals in this network. We can add a little bit more signals whenever we feel like it. And idle. Perfect. I'm just gonna go up and take the next train. Okay, so this is being filled up. Let's see if it works. We just need it then to come back. And there we go. Now we see the issue here. It is not full because there's some of these boxes are not completely full here. Some of them. No. Well, whatever. One of them is not full. And that doesn't matter. We'll just wait. Oh, by the way, did we? Oh, no, that one. But now it also changes for the other. Perfect. We now have this coming in. And we look at the amount. Currently, we only get the normal basic type, but let's see when it also unloads. There we go. It also unloads here, and then it summarizes, it adds the 2 together and sends it out as a signal. Right. We will now add this to our inbounds here. There's going to be 4 lanes in, but I'm going to take this station in here. That actually means that maybe I don't want it 4 to 4, but only a 4 to 2 instead. And then I'm going to wrap it in here as these outer ones. Here we go. The train comes in at the new station, one of the stations that's actually hooked up to one of our 2 big areas. That is great. And we have now started to flow out here. And what I've said is I am prioritizing emptying my local resources up here, because that also gives me this as building areas. And then only afterwards will we take out the resources coming in from the stations. And of course, they are coming in here. I could add priority to make the progress on this, but it doesn't really matter. Once these are full, then they're going to be idle. And what we can do now is we can upgrade this. We get double up on this, because even with one of these, I think we actually have enough to keep going. But I can also just hook up these out here, just to make sure that we have ample resource. And then we're actually ready to leave Fulgora, because we know that there is a constant production, there's a constant flow, it will have all we need, and then if we want anything else, we can always come back and we can stamp it down and we can send it off and we can ship it off to new locations. That means next episode we will be going to Gliba. Hope you're interested in that, because that is another challenge for sure. So, I hope you've enjoyed our journey here in Fulgora. I'm really happy with what we have done and how it works. It is looking amazing and it works amazingly. And I mean, we are ready to go with our equipment here. Super amazing. So, also, by the way, this is now a new one, elevated rail segment. It is, I put it under Fulgora because that's probably where you want to do it. But I didn't want to put it into the Fulgora box because then it's kind of clogging up. It's already full of weird things at Fulgora. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. If you want access to the save games or to the blueprints, those are available to Patreon supporters. So thank you very much, everyone who's supporting on Patreon. And I will see you guys next time, either on Twitch or on YouTube. Until then, take care and stay effective.